Fanalysis uses fantasy football analytics with sports betting insights to find you the edge in your plays this week. Steve Overmyer here alongside sports handicapper Geoff Sheasby. And Jeff, the Jets are touchdown home dogs to the Cardinals, who just lost 2 games. Would you consider teasing this game either way?
I think when we look under the hood here, there could be a narrative that with the defensive efficiency stats head-to-head here, there could be a tease towards the Jets. Honestly, there could be a tease towards the Cardinals as well. I think the Cardinals win and cover, but if you give the Jets an additional 6 points, I think it's right where it needs to be. Looking at the rankings, the Jets are 28th in terms of offensive efficiency. Enter Joe Flacco. Is that an improvement? Is that a downgrade? I don't think it's really either. I think it's a wash, and the line hasn't moved with that announcement. But their defense looks pretty good. It's 10th in terms of defensive efficiency. Other side of the ball, there is some good news for Jets fans. The Cardinals' offense has struggled a touch. They're ranked 25th in terms of offensive efficiency, but you have to think that their upside is far better than that. With Hopkins, struggling Drake, hopefully he can find a little bit of a rhythm. But Chase Edmonds on the backup there has looked great. We might see some more from him. And this defense for the Cardinals is ranked below the Jets. So looking strictly at the efficiency metrics, there's a narrative for the Jets here to keep this one close. Coming with the narrative on the other side, though, the Cardinals off 2 straight losses on a team that should be playing better. And then the Jets, have just shown no sign of life. They just lost to the 3rd-string quarterback of the Denver Broncos, allowing 37 points. So even with their defensive efficiency stats looking decent, it's very, very challenging to back Joe Flacco. It's very, very challenging to back Adam Gase. And I'm unfortunately going to be taking the Cardinals. Unfortunately for New York fans, to be taking the Cardinals -7. But again, you tease that up to Jets +13. That's interesting. I think you could also tease the Cardinals down, to +3, +2, +1. And I think that'd be good as well. So I don't think you can go wrong either way, honestly, with the tease.
4 games into the season, you start to build trends. There are 2 trends that surround the Cardinals right now. Number 1, they have been the betting favorites each one of those games. And number 2, they've hit the under in each one of those games. What do you make of that?
It's super interesting, honestly. I think this is a team that was hyped up and for good reason. They're building off of a solid season last year, not actually in wins and losses, but in terms of team cohesion, and added some offensive weapons. And it's interesting that they hit the under, right? Because this was supposed to be a high-octane offense, but it just hasn't been performing as they should. But you look at actually the average over per week. It has increased 4 points since week 1. So overs have been absolutely slamming. I believe it was about 46 was the average total week 1. The average total this week is 50. So that's something to watch out for. I think if anything, it's kind of emerged in the sense that the Cardinals should score more, but Vegas is adjusting to the overs at the macro level. So no play on the total there, but I would expect to see more points from the Cardinals against this Jets defense that did prove that they're vulnerable.
As for the Giants, they are 9.5-point dogs in Dallas right now. They hung tough against the Rams in their last outing, without a doubt, but do you see that as a bit of a building block, or is it more of an anomaly?
I think you can go either way there, Steve. This is a team that's really bamboozled me. They played 2 competitive games, week 1 and week 2, one versus the Steelers, of course, the other versus the Bears, both losses, but decent games, and they come out and get absolutely shellacked by a backup-driven 49ers squad who then just lost last week. So that doesn't look good. Of course, they then come back and play the red-hot Rams, pretty hot. Of course, there's a narrative there. Perhaps the Rams were looking past the Giants, which I think a lot of teams do. So, coming to this, it's a divisional matchup, so I don't think there's any way the Cowboys can be looking past them here. And this is a Cowboys team that has just absolutely dominated the Jets, or the Giants, excuse me, in recent years. They've won their last 6 matchups, stemming back to 2017. They've covered all 6 of those as well, and now they've got one of their best offenses that they've almost ever had. They're ranking 3rd in terms of points per game at 31.5, and that feels pretty good between Zeke and the cattle of Lamb, of who else? Cooper, even Cedric Wilson, and of course Gallup. Their wide receivers are stacked, and Dak is getting them the ball. So look at the Giants' offensive efficiency, 32 out of 32. The defensive efficiency is 11th, but is based on some other efficiency stats projected to regress. The other side of the ball, you've got of course, the offensive efficiency for the Cowboys is fantastic. Their defense does leave something to be desired. So at the end of the day, I do think that the divisional rivalry will have the Cowboys at peak no motivation, where I don't think the Giants will cover at 9.5. I think they'll continue to dominate straight up and against the spread. And I think, maybe there's a little bit of a narrative towards the over, but with Vegas adjusting and moving, the week 1 through week 4 total average point of 4 points, that's something that I don't want to dabble with until it starts to normalize a little bit.
One more note from this, and this is actually kind of funny. Giants offensive coordinator Jason Garrett obviously returning to Dallas for this game. He was asked about the Giants offense this year, and he says, "You want to do things that you're good at, and we're trying to figure out what they are." I mean, that is just a point-blank statement of where this Giants offense is right now. If the goal of an offense is to turn the ball over, they're doing their job because they've done that more than any team.
Yeah, they excel there, and obviously the loss of Barkley is hard to even quantify. Freeman hasn't looked the part. Gallman is Gallman. Dion Lewis is a good third down back, but they're a little banged up. Their offensive line is a sieve. It could be a long game.
It could very well be. Geoff, thanks so much for all of your insights on all of these games. Very much appreciate it. And make sure you check out his other segment on his top plays of the week. For now, for Geoff Sheasby, I'm Steve Overmyer. Thanks for watching Fanalysis.